Hi, Influencer for Christ, and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, we post edifying content on our identity in Christ Jesus, relationship issues, kingdom lifestyle, and many more. So, welcome to today's episode on our question and answer on how to maintain sexual purity amidst distraction. In today's video, we'll be taking our question number 4 on how to maintain sexual purity amidst distraction. And our question number 4 is setting boundaries. We'll be talking explicitly on how to set boundaries or the role of setting boundaries in maintaining sexual purity. Okay, now talking about setting boundaries, I want you to know that setting boundaries is essential in all type of relationship. It is your way of protecting yourself emotionally, mentally, and physically. And when you set boundaries, you are effectively setting the tone for how others should treat you. And again, I want you to know that everyone is vulnerable to sexual impurity. And so, therefore, we can't afford to be careless. We can't afford to be carefree. First Corinthians 10, verse 12 makes us to understand that. Let he that think is stand, let it take heed, lest he fall. So in today's video, I'll be talking about few boundaries you should note and you should set in order to maintain sexual purity. Anyways, today's video might be a little bit lengthy, but I assure you will be blessed. Boundary number 1. Avoid having an opposite sex as your best friend. Avoid having an opposite sex as your best friend. This is very crucial. Be wise. As a sister, as a Christian brother, as a Christian sister, you can't afford to play with fire. You can't afford to be careless. Except if your spouse or your fiance or your fiancé, having an opposite sex as your best friend is like setting up fire within you and waiting patiently to burn. So we can't afford to be careless. Boundary number 1, avoid having an opposite sex as your best friend. And come to think of it, your best friend, having an opposite as your best friend is not in any way doing you any good because you tend to someone you call your best friend, you tend to go extensive with the person. You talk more, you disclose some personal things with the person. So, and we said in our last video that too much of conversation with an opposite sex triggers some kind of feeling. So having an opposite sex as your best friend is not healthy. So it's a number 1 boundary rather. Boundary number 1, avoid having an opposite sex as your best friend. Now, our number 2 boundary is never allow an opposite sex in your closet all alone, especially when you are alone. I'll say it again. Never allow an opposite sex in your closet, especially when you are all alone. As a brother who have a lot of sisters around you, set boundaries. For no reason should you allow any sister, or should you counsel or pray with or even conduct Bible study with a sister in your closet where no one can see you. Remember, you are not an angel, neither are you a robot. You have libido, you have hormones. So, brother, set boundaries. Never allow anybody in your closet all alone, especially when you're alone. And also, sisters, admit that you have weak points and guide it jealously. Brothers, also remember that before you are a papa, an apostle, you're a bishop, you're a pastor, whatever title you have, you're first of all human. And you see, emotions don't understand tongues. So don't be careless, don't be carefree. You're not a superman. So take it so you don't fall. Boundary number 2, never allow an opposite sex in your closet all alone, especially when you're alone. And boundary number 3, it says, watch where you go. I'll say it again, watch where you go. As a sister, I beg you, never enter into a man's house or a brother, not even a neighbor or anybody if he stays alone. Never. Never enter into a man's house, a brother's house, or a neighbor's house if he stays alone. Again, for any reason, don't. enter alone, especially if he stays alone. If you need to collect something from him, if you can't bring it outside, while you wait at the door, then he doesn't know what's going in. My sister, a lot of people have been a victim of rape, particularly on this issue. A situation they did not plan for but could have actually been avoided. Imagine everybody is a suspect in maintaining purity. Imagine, let me say, a neighbor or anybody that maybe you just want to enter and collect something. What if something else happened? If he stays alone, what if he puts on the what's it called, the home theater, and take advantage of the person? You need to be wise. Never enter into anybody's home, especially an opposite an opposite sex. If he stays alone, never, don't. Whatever you need to do it outside where everybody can see you. Never be alone with an opposite sex. And again, on boundary number three, watch where you go. When invited to visit, ask to meet in a public place. And that is even when it is necessary to go. And again, before you decide to meet, ask yourself, is the meeting necessary? Remember, it is not all invitation you honor, but if it is necessary to go, ask to meet in a public place. Boundary number three, watch where you go. Now, boundary number four, this is very essential. Never stand or walk alone in the dark. Do all your buying, all your transaction when it is daylight. Never stand alone or walk alone in the dark. You need to be careful. It is very, very essential. Boundary number four, never stand alone or walk alone in the dark. Boundary number five, avoid taking things or gift from somebody you know have feelings for you. Boundary number five, avoid taking things or gift from somebody that you know that he or she has feelings from you. Save yourself from entitlement, because when you take gift and you take gift continuously and all of that, you are indirectly committing yourself to him. And the day he will ask for a favor, probably like a visit or some other things, you might not be able to say no. What I do once I notice somebody have feelings for me, or I see your move that okay, you're trying to say something, if you offer me anything, I would definitely say no. So that when the time to say a blunt no comes, I'm able to say it with my full chest, my heart, and every other thing without even feeling that I have offended anybody. And again, don't say no and act yes. Yes. Don't say no and act yes. You're saying no and you're still standing. You are saying no and you are still conversing. Don't you know that he will insist? Kai, my sister, you wise. Don't say no and act yes. Okay, and again, what about a situation? Maybe probably he gives the gift without your consent. What can you do? You can definitely say no bluntly. You can refuse the gift bluntly by saying no. I had a friend, for whatever reason, I don't know why he does that, but he does send me airtime almost every time. And even whenever I send the card, he does not even inform me or tells me that he sent me card. So when I got to know that the airtime was coming from me, I told him emphatically and humbly that please, can you stop sending me airtime? And you know what? He stopped. So am I saying you should not receive gifts? Definitely no. But what I'm saying is that don't collect things from someone that already shows interest in you. There's already a motive behind the gift. So to save yourself from entitlement and a situation whereby you'll be so entangled that you won't be able to say no when the time arrives, don't collect things from somebody that already shows interest in you. Sisters, don't collect gifts from somebody that shows interest or you notice their move towards you. Boundaries number six. Boundaries number six. Set boundaries even on social media. Set boundaries even on social media. Setting boundaries is also inclusive to social media and beyond. Even on call, set boundaries. You can't just call me now and or maybe let me say you chat me and you start saying something arousing and all of that. I will block you straight away or even end the call. In fact, even before we get there, go, you must have reached block mode. So the boundary is inclusive to social media. Set boundaries. If you're on phone and the conversation is already leading to flirtation and nothingness, stop it there and end it and let people know your stand. Even on social media, as a single sister, as a single brother, set boundaries on social media. Let people know who you are. When they know who you are, they tend to address you by who they know you are. So even on social media, set boundaries. Ooh, boundary number 7. This is for my brothers. My brothers, this is for you, brother. Please. Boundary number 7. Be strict with your consecration. Be strict with your consecration. Brothers, avoid every Delilah around you. We don't play or even cast out Delilah. You flee, you run. Avoid every Delilah around you. Be strict about your consecration. Let people call you old fashioned and you forever remain relevant with God. We don't play with the devil. Flee when you have to. Hide when it demands. And don't be over spiritual in dealing with females. Let them know your stand. Be strict with your consecration. And also to the brothers, you are not a superman. You have erection too. And I want you to know that the devil is seriously looking for the fall of believers because he knows that we are a threat to his kingdom. So don't be his prey. Brothers, be strict with your consecration. You don't joke with it at all. Let the females around you, let the ladies around you, let them know your stand. Let them know your boundaries. Be strict with your boundaries. Set plain boundaries. Plain boundaries. Right from the ancient time, the sin that easily befall men is the issue of woman. Look at Solomon, look at David, look at Samson. Anyways, there is hope, my brother. I present Jesus to you. Look at Jesus. There is hope. Look at Jesus who is able to keep you from falling and even present you sinless. But nevertheless, my brother, don't ignore boundaries. Never ignore boundaries. God is a God of principle. Follow instruction, flee, and be wise. And again, as a child of God, we have edge over everything. Imagine having the wisest person, or so to say, the person who is wisdom himself as your father. Then you can't afford to be a bastard and be a fool. Learn wisdom from Jesus. Receive wisdom from Jesus. James 1 verse 5. I know you know what it says. That if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God. He gives liberally to all men and he upbraided not. So learn wisdom from Jesus. Be wise. Proverbs 27 verse 12. A prudent man foresees evil and hide himself, but the fool passed on and they are punished. You know that sisters that flaunt herself around you. You know the brothers that keep calling you and all of that. My sister, my brother, hide, flee, and avoid. And lastly, on today's episode, I want you to know that to flee is not fear. Neither is it a sign of lack of courage. I'll say it again. To flee is not fear. Neither is it a sign of lack of courage. It is simply wisdom. It is simply wisdom. A wise Christian will never play with boundaries. A wise Christian will never play with boundaries. So we've come to the end of today's episode. I hope you've learned one or two things. It has been an amazing one with you guys. I hope you've learned one or two things. And if you are new on this channel, I am Oluwatushe and I welcome you to the channel of Influencers for Christ. Yes, we are Influencers for Christ. Please kindly click on the like and the subscribe bell icon so you can get notified when we drop a new video. As this is our question number 4, by next week we'll be dropping our question number 5. And also you can follow us on our social media page at influencer underscore for Christ. You can follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and probably you might have a question going through your mind. You can also send a DM to me privately as all will be attended to all. You can send a mail to our Gmail at influencerforchrist@gmail.com. See you next week. Bye bye.